welcome. I just want to make you aware that with so many people in the room, some of these people here may be in the camera shot, and it is live streamed. So if you have objection to being filmed, do swaps with people that don't. But it shouldn't be too much problem. Welcome to Brandon's full Town Council meeting on this Monday the 12th of June 2023. Item 1 on the agenda is apologies for absence and approval for the reasons tendered. Do we have any?
Yes, I've got Councillor Watts, who is training tonight, so she's...
Lovely, thank you. Agenda item number 2, declarations of interest and additions to members' register of interest. I take it we're all up to date on that? Yep, thank you. Agenda item number 3, to receive a report from Squadron Leader Geary, RAF Lakenheath. He doesn't appear to be here. If he comes slightly late, if you don't mind, I will slot him in. Otherwise, we will now pass straight on to item number 4, which is to receive, confirm and sign the minutes of Brandon Town Council full meeting of the 15th of May 2023. Does any of the councillors have comment on those minutes? No, so I will look for a proposer. Councillor Lucanek. Seconder, Councillor Brocklehurst. Can we go for a vote on the acceptance of the minutes? That looks unanimous to me.
Thank you.
Matters arising for information exchange only of the full council meeting of the 15th of May. Does anybody have anything to bring up about the meeting of 15th of May? I see no takers, so we will move on to urgent business. Any items that the chairman...
Bill?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Matters arising.
Right, okay, you were...
Number 15. Excuse me. Regarding the planning, regarding the...
Can I hold you there, Peter? We're going to skip back to item number 3. Squadron Leader Geary, I think you're lurking outside the door.
I'm here. Yeah.
Do come in.
Good evening. Apologies for being late. I've just come from another meeting straight here. So good evening, everybody. So the report for May. So lots of bank holidays throughout the whole month of May, which disrupted the flying programme so much, somewhat. Both with the UK bank holidays, but also with the coronation weekend, and also with the Safety Families Day and their bank holiday as well. They did stop flying over the coronation weekend, which was great. But in addition to the routine sort of currency and competency training, 48 Fighter Wing deployed off to Exercise Arctic Challenge to Finland and Norway. So 450 people from Lakenheath went to those 2 countries. In fact, they're on their way back now from there over the next few weeks, coming back in. Last month, myself, the 48 Med Group Commander and the RAF Lakenheath Honour Guard had the privilege of attending the funeral of Mr. Peter Cowper, who was an ex-RAF Commander from RAF Lakenheath who made his home in Hockwold. We went over on the 4th of May and paid our due respects to him. The US Air Force at Lakenheath hosted a UK Armed Forces flag football, an American football team, to some fixtures on the base. They played 3 games, flag football rather than full contact. The US Air Force won, but only by 2 games to 1, and the games that the UK lost were very, very close. So I'm looking forward to the competition next year. Also last month I attended a men's shed breakfast in Lakenheath Village, and briefed attendees to that men's shed breakfast on my role as the RAF Commander. I've got to say that initiative is absolutely fabulous. To see so many folk together on a Saturday morning, having breakfast together, talking together, and giving me the opportunity to talk to them about my role as well was a real privilege to go along and do that. We had a protest outside Gate 1 back on the 20th of May. I'm happy to say that protest went by without any incidents at all. And then on the 29th of May, myself and the 48 Fighter Wing Commander attended the the US Air Force Memorial Day event at Cambridge American Cemetery, and there was a fly-past day for that as well. And then, right at the very end of last month and into the 1st of June, took just over 100 US Air Force personnel over to the Suffolk show over at Trinity Park in Ipswich, put a big capability demonstration on the ground, which includes security forces, fire, the special ops wing from over at Milden Hall, flying squadrons, maintenance, EOD, medical. We had a whole demonstration. It was really, really well received by both the general public who were coming in and seeing us, and also by the show organisers as well. They were blown away by the footprint that we managed to put in the ground, which was great. Just something for your awareness, nothing for you to be concerned about, but just in case you see them, there have been some deliveries of joint light tactical vehicles. They're Humvees on steroids. If you've seen a Humvee vehicle, it's quite a big armoured vehicle. The JLTV is somewhat bigger than that. This is pretty big, and they are being delivered as part of a replacement programme. The JLTVs are coming and replacing the Humvees, but you'll see them on the back of low loaders being brought into the station. I'm not expecting them to travel between Lakenheath and Feltwell at the moment, but there may be the chance that they will do in the future. So if you see them, don't worry, we're not being invaded. It is a routine delivery changeover of the Humvees or the JLTVs. Just working up some plans for a footprint on the showground at the Royal Norfolk Show this year, and also some change of commands over the summer. We're losing the Vice Commander of the wing, we're losing the Med Group Commander and the Maintenance Group Commander this summer, so it's a sort of a 50% changeover of the senior leadership team at Lakenheath. Finally, I've got some really good news for you. So you may recall back end of last year, I said that the British American Committee at Lakenheath was closing, and there was some money left in the pot of the British American Committee, and I convinced the committee to share the money that was left in the pot between the 5 parish councils that I come out to and speak to, in order to enhance the relationship between the USDF and the local community. So I have a cheque for £453.54, which can be used for those purposes to, as I say, to improve the relationship between the base and the local community, and I'd like to give that to the parish council to use as they so see fit. I just need to know who to make it payable to.
Brandon
Town Council.
Brandon Town Council, in which case I'll do that now and I'll hand it over now then.
Well, I have to say, Squadron Leader, that's an incredibly kind and generous thing, and we accept it in good grace, and we'll put it to good use in Brandon.
Brilliant.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for the Squadron Leader, please?
Yeah. What was the process about?
It was a UK organised CND event, so it's a routine. We tend to get them once, maybe twice a year. They tend to protest at a lot of military bases around the country, and just happen to be our turn this time round.
Commander, when does the new VCC walk start, like the visitors reception centre at Gate 1?
When does
it start? Apparently they're revamping it big time.
So there has been a request to do a refurbishment of the visitor centre, but there's no money allocated to the project yet, so no start date either at this time.
The only reason I'm asking is I just retired from that's why I was on the AGS.
Yeah, okay.
I saw the plans on the wall just as I retired, but
so there's plans for refurbishment, but no money's been allocated yet, no plan start date yet.
Anybody else? Councillor Buchanan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm not complaining about the planes, Squadron Leader, because I'm okay with the planes. I don't think you're going to get any gripes about that. We do have a particular American personnel who's really rowdy weekends with his stereos and stuff and his parties. But now, do you want me to can you give me some contact details, because you need to speak to this man?
Straight to me.
Okay, well, we'll email you, because he is causing a considerable amount of distress.
Yes, absolutely. Come straight into it. So just so you're tracking, our community relations advisor post, so Sarah Stevens would normally be the point of contact for the neighbourhood complaints, but that post is vacant at the moment. So by all means, so something like that, just come straight into me.
You'll get an email in the inbox tomorrow morning.
Yep, great stuff.
Anybody else? Peter.
These alphabetical letter vehicles you mentioned, what are they?
The Joint Light Tactical Vehicles, so that's what I explained at the start of this. It's a Joint Light Tactical Vehicle. It's a replacement for the armoured vehicles that the security forces normally drive around.
And you stop them from Lakenheath to Feltwell?
No. So they are brand new vehicles that the US Air Force are bringing in. They're bringing a replacement programme for the Humvees, which is the armoured vehicle. They're a replacement programme for the Humvee, so they're coming into Lakenheath. There is a chance that in the future they may move between Lakenheath and Feltwell, but I'm not expecting that at the moment. It's just in case, I say it's more a case, if you see lorries with big armoured vehicles on the back of it, it's part of that Humvee replacement programme.
Anybody else? No. I would just say that if there are any Humvees going spare, I would really like one.
It's one in, one out, I'm afraid. So, yeah.
What a shame, yeah. Thank you very much indeed, Scott.
Thank you very much. Have a
you.
good meeting, and I'll see you again next week.
Thank you.
Look forward to it. Thank you. On that matter, we will skip back to matters arising, number 5, and I think Councillor Ridgewell was wanting to speak.
Yeah, in number 15 regarding planning, Victor said about the front of the building is going to be replaced with wood. Does that mean to say the flint panels are going to be replaced, or is it just the glass?
We're talking about
to the path. Barclays Bank.
when the planning application came to the planning department, the application was for aluminium frontage, the windows and the doors, and we requested that they have wooden doors, painted wooden doors, rather than aluminium.
Right.
And that only refers to the doorway and the windows. That does not refer to the flint work on the front of the bank.
Right.
Thank
I
you.
understand. Isn't there something flint inside Barclays that we was going to try and save before
I have no
they
idea.
vacated?
I have no
Like an
idea.
equal?
I have no idea, and it would not be part of the planning application if there were.
Chairman, if I may answer that.
Yeah, please do.
There's a flint mural in there, made by one of the old flint knappers, and that's embedded in the wall. That's unlikely that'll ever be removed.
Oh, right.
And you can just see it if you look through the glass. That is part and parcel of the rear wall. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any more under matters arising?
Yeah, it was. Okay.
Councillor
On
Ridgewell.
number 20, you got appointment of any new committees? None. Well, I'm a trustee of the Heritage Centre. And I had a meeting last week, and they said that it has to come to council to have 2 councillors nominated as trustees for the Heritage Centre. And I was to bring this up.
Thank you very much for bringing that up. We will put it on the agenda for next month's meeting.
And I'm quite happy to stand as trustee.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you.
Right.
Anybody else? No? Right, thank you. I will move on to urgent business. Any items the chairman considers a matter of urgent business? I will start on this because I do have something. I have been made aware that there has been a rumour going around Brandon that this Brandon Town Council intends to get rid of the town keepers and ground staff and replace them with outside contractors. I can tell you absolutely categorically, here and now, that is a complete and utter lie. There is no truth whatsoever in it. Whoever started this rumour, basically, as far as my personal opinion goes, is a nasty and obnoxious person who should hang their head in shame. And I'm afraid those that publicise this rumour, especially on social media, should perhaps try to get their facts straight before spreading things like this all over Facebook. And they could have done that quite simply by ringing Graham Cock, the town clerk, or ringing myself or the Deputy Chair, Councillor Brocklehurst, or indeed any single one of the councillors around this table, who would have categorically said that this has never even entered our minds. And that's what I've got to say on this matter. I think Councillor Brocklehurst wanted to speak on this subject too, as did Councillor Lucanic, and I think the final word will go to Graham. So,
Yes, with regards to the rumour, the absolute thing that really upset me more than anything is one of our new councillors, Councillor Seaburn, and I don't need to point out Nikki is a younger lady, she has a family. Nikki was accosted by a rather large gentleman in the high street. She had her 9 and 6-year-old daughters with her, was verbally abused with a prolonged rant, got quite in her face. Now, that sort of behaviour, to me, is just not on with anybody, but more so with a lady, and also the fact that she had children with her. You know, it really isn't, it's just not on, it's not right for people to be acting like that. And that action was purely on a rumour. And I don't know if Nikki would like to, we haven't.
Yeah, would you like to say anything on this matter, Nikki?
It was wholly inappropriate. I think the rumour is vile. I hope, you know, you said we're not getting rid of them. They do an amazing job. Everybody can see that. So, you know, I think people really do need to think before they react to rumours and get some facts straight before they start screaming at people. That'd be lovely.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Lucan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I can refer councillors to last month's minutes, page 576. It quite clearly states that Councillor Whittam thanked the town keepers for their sterling work and he looks forward to working with them in the coming year. That is on a statutory document said in public. There was no truth in those spurious rumours circulating around the town, and it's a disgrace. And those people who started those rumours should come up to these public meetings and introduce themselves to us. These rumours were floating about for a couple of weeks, and Graham, I'm surprised that the office never picked up on that. You must have seen it. You must have seen what was going on, and perhaps you could have. Perhaps you. Hang on, Graham. You can't cut across me. I haven't finished yet. You perhaps could have pinged a message out saying that these are completely spurious allegations and without any foundation, and there's no evidence to substantiate the claim. You could have perhaps posted something. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I rest my case then.
Thank you, Councillor Lucan. Graham, if you would like to just say a few words on it.
We make a policy of not replying to things on Facebook as a matter of policy. We reply to things sent to us in a proper manner via our email address. We don't comment. No meeting has ever taken place about this rumour, so as far as I was concerned it wasn't happening, but
thank you.
I don't, you know, we do not apply, we do not comment on rumours. All you do is fuel a rumour.
Councillor Lucan.
Chairman, could the clerk categorically state that he had no knowledge that any councillor had debated the fact that there was that we were about to sack the ground staff?
I've got no knowledge of anyone having a meeting to discuss this subject at all.
Thank you. And that's because there has been no meeting. It was just a spurious lie. Right, I will close the matter there. Anybody else have any urgent business, please? Certainly turning a phone off would be a good idea. Thank you. Anybody else for urgent business? No? Right. I shall move on to receive a written report, item number 7, from the Town Clerk, Mr. Graham Cock.
Yep, well, it's
all there.
in your pack.
Did you want to read through it for the benefit of those that haven't?
Other than the fact that highlight the issue of the grass cutting, we only cut certain areas of the town. I've been getting loads of comments, some of which I've passed to different councillors, and one that I will mention that we got a thank you about, that we did sort out with West Suffolk from the office, but you know, we can't deal with everybody, and it's not our piece of ground to cut.
No. Thank you for that, Graham.
So
Just to follow a little bit on that, that there are only a very limited area of the town that our own town keepers cut and maintain. They seem to do an extraordinarily good job of that. West Suffolk, I've said it before, perhaps have had an awful lot of problems. One, with the early part of the season, heavy rain, and second, the unprecedented growth in the grass, and thirdly, bank holiday after bank holiday, it set them back. But they actually came out last month to see, I probably said this last meeting, but I'll repeat it again, that they came out last month to see Councillor Lukanik and myself, and assured that they would be picking up and getting back on course fairly soon. And I do have the cutting list, if you like. They send me a list of where they're going to cut and what have you. I think they do you too, don't they?
yeah, we publish it on our website.
Which is,
Jackie publishes it.
yeah, so if you need to know where they're going to be cutting next, do look at the website.
I think we had a new one today, actually.
Yeah, you did. So, moving on from...
Mr. Chairman,
Sorry, yes, Councillor Lukanik.
the clerk's report. There's a list of places where we have the responsibility, but you left one particular place out, Graham, and that's Monkey Star Lane. We still have the responsibility of the grassed area in Monkey Star Lane. You have left that off the list. We have never relinquished the maintenance of Monkey Star Lane, Graham.
It was never ours in the first place. It is West Suffolk, as is the other one further along, which is West Suffolk as well. We do it out of a good nature for the town of Brandon. We don't do it, it's not our responsibility.
That's not true, Graham. For decades, we have had the responsibility of the brambles and the... Don't ha like that, Graham. It's the truth. We have not that needs a resolution to relinquish the maintenance of Monkey Star Lane. And I will refer you to Peter Ridgewell, who's got more historical facts about Monkey Star Lane than I have. We are responsible for that, and that's a light job down there.
Well, what about the one further along then? Why aren't we doing that as well then?
Well, historically, we are responsible for Monkey Star Lane. I'm not getting involved with all the other places.
No.
Don't single it out. Don't single Monkey Star Lane out.
I'll be out that door.
Thank you. Councillor Ridgewell.
Well, I've been here for over 40 odd years, and I've been to council meetings.
Sorry, could you start again, Peter, please?
I've been here for over 40 odd years in Brandon. And I've been to council meetings for 35 years. And they've always cut Monkey Star. The staff of Brandon Town Council has always cut Monkey Star Lane.
Lovely.
Thank you, Mr. Ridgewell.
Whether they were supposed to, but they always have.
I'll take one further response on this from Councillor Brocklehurst.
Whilst I'll agree exactly with what Councillor Lukanik and Councillor Ridgewell have said, I think the key issue here is that what we need to do is to request for the clerk to write to, is it West Suffolk or Suffolk County,
Suffolk County.
explaining the situation that historically we have done it as a gesture of goodwill for our residents, but with times being stretched, the finances being stretched, that we can no longer do it. And actually we have to give and say, it's your responsibility. We are no longer doing it.
I have written to them previously and we get no response because they're not interested in sending people up here to...
Mr. Chairman,
Councillor Brett?
2 years ago, maybe 3, it was ascertained that West Suffolk Council were responsible for both of those footpaths down Colston Lane. It's in writing in the office.
Thank you. Councillor
Can I remind
Henry.
people at that end of the room to speak up because we can't hear down here?
Absolutely, please do. Can you hear me all right? Good. I'd be surprised if you couldn't.
I'll just say there's about 20 people nearby the lift. They can't hear. And I
No.
suppose these people can hear. All the voices are down that end.
Right, so people this end of the table, can you speak up, please, when answering or what have you? Right, I'm going to move on and go to item number 8, which is the public forum. This is a monthly event. It limits each resident to 3 minutes duration to ask their question. It will also include reports from county, district and town councillors and also community group representatives. I need a proposer and a seconder to Bob Bradd's proposing, Councillor Etherington seconding, and a vote to suspend the meeting.
I will go after you.
Can we have a vote around the table, please? Thank you very much, that's unanimous. The meeting is now suspended for the public gallery. If you can put your hands up, please, and I will start with you. I don't know your name. Yeah?
Liz Chalice.
Liz
Right.
Chalice.
About these rumours going around the town, addressing them. Quite frankly, I think what you've just said is abysmal. How you just literally walked across people who have given their point of view. Now, this rumour has been going around for several months now. It's not been the last couple of weeks. I personally have put something on Facebook about it because I think these town keepers do an absolutely fantastic job. I've never ever seen any of these young people standing around talking. They're always grafting. And to be quite honest, where did this rumour start? Because at the end of the day, it didn't come from the townspeople, it came from somewhere. And I can tell you, from what I've heard, it's come from that top of the table. 3 particular members of the council have been talking, and somehow this has got out.
Can I stop you there, madam? The accusation you are making is quite nasty.
Well, I'm sorry.
It is
I'm sorry. There is
totally
no smoke
untrue.
without fire.
Totally
And
untrue.
it is something that this town will not tolerate.
May I answer you, please?
Yes, you may answer me.
Thank
Don't
you.
take away not any more my 3 minutes, please.
You can come back. Yeah.
Right, carry
What
on.
you're saying is totally untrue. It has never been discussed this end of the table.
It
You
may
can
not have been
shake-
discussed at
Oh,
this
no,
end of the
please let me
table in a
finish.
meeting, but that doesn't mean it hasn't been discussed
Please let me
outside of the
finish.
meeting.
Please let me finish. It has never been discussed. Never.
Really?
Absolutely.
Quite frankly, I do not believe in a word that you say, Mr. Brocklehurst, you say, Mr. Whittam, or you, Mr. Luchanik. Excuse me, I have my 3 minutes. So, I don't trust any of you. You've proved yourself in the past. This is Brandon. This is not Italy with the Brandon Mafia. This is people's livelihoods. We want to keep our town looking beautiful. Outsourcing it is ridiculous. Even contemplating it, although you say you haven't, I can speak with 25 years of experience as a caretaker in a school what outsourcing does. You pay not that much more money, but you get nothing. It starts off good and it slowly goes down a slippery slope. I've had that for years trying to sort out. And why would it even come into somebody's head to think about doing that when we've got these wonderful people? Honestly, no, I don't agree.
Thank you.
That's the reason that I put something on Facebook, because I think our town deserves our townskeepers.
Thank you, Liz.
Linda.
Sorry?
Linda. My name is Linda.
Linda, I thought you said Liz. I could not agree with you more about the town keepers. I always have. Therefore, whoever started this rumour, it didn't come from me or him.
Well, that's contrary to what other people have said.
Well, they are wrong.
Look, we're not going to get to the bones of it.
Wrong,
We've discussed it now. If it's been noted on the agenda that it's not going to happen ever, believe me, if it happens in the near future, in the next few years, you'll get all of this again.
Oh, I fully expect
You will
it.
get all
I
of this
fully
done,
expect it.
and I
But
will be the first to be the
please accept that it has never been discussed. It's not on the, just thinking about it logically, eh? Yeah, anybody logically? Has anybody around this table run a company? Do they know how difficult it is to sack staff
Exactly.
and then replace them with outside contractors?
Yes, and that is not an easy job to do. You
No,
can't do it legally.
Graham Cock the clerk would absolutely support me, is that we simply financially could not afford to do it even if we wanted to, which we don't. Just think of it logically. And I'm sorry, I have to say to you, had you come to me, or Graham, or any one of us,
Excuse me.
we would have said,
As Graham pointed out, they don't get involved in.
if you had have rung him up and said, look, I have heard, is it true? He would have said no, or he would have said, would you have said no?
It's not allowed to discuss.
He would have said no, and because it is not on the agenda, ever, or he would have pointed you in my direction and I would have said exactly the same thing. I can absolutely assure you. And I'll tell you what really upsets me about this and animates me, is while this rumour has been going around, our poor town keepers have been thinking, I haven't got a job. I might be out of work. I've just had a young baby.
I second that. So
whoever started this...
if you knew about this weeks ago, why did you not speak to your staff and put their minds at rest?
Because I learned about it 2 days ago, because I do not do Facebook. And it's the first I heard about it when somebody came to me and said, Mrs. Chalice has put something on Facebook about
so it was
this.
me you were having a little dig at, was it?
Couldn't you have made
This did not come from me in the first place.
Couldn't you have made certain of your facts before you came
I made certain of my facts. I asked several people.
But you didn't ask the whole... You didn't...
excuse me, why did I ask somebody who has just been elected on the council that has a criminal record anyway? I'm sorry, I don't even believe you should be there in the first place.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're on about. I do not have a criminal record.
Excuse me, it was in the public, it was
Anyway,
in the national...
I will ask you to sit down. You've had more than your 10 minutes.
Yes, and this isn't finished, believe me.
Councillor Everington.
Can I just add that I have heard these rumours. I don't know where they originated, but in all fairness, from your last term of office and what went on with Brandon Town Council and the Town Clerk last time, a few years ago, is it any wonder that these rumours have bred somewhere?
Yes, it is a wonder, Councillor. Councillor Brocklehurst.
I'd like to ask Mrs. Chalice a question. Would you be prepared to name the people who told you?
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't.
So all I could say to that then is that these people do watch this, maybe are watching on Facebook, will know what's going on here. If they really haven't got the guts to actually come and face people and say things like you have done tonight, you've come and asked the question. Respect to you for doing that, because it's not the easiest place to come and stand up in front of an awful lot of people. I believe there's plenty outside. But I can absolutely assure you that conversation's not happened with me. I've been on the council 2 months since the election. It's on my second meeting from 4 years ago.
But yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Councillor Savage.
Yeah, I'd just like to know.
Not yet. We will come to you shortly, sir. Right now, I'm taking a comment. I'm taking a comment from Councillor Savage.
Well,
Not yet. He's talking to someone else. Sit down, Matt.
I won't be long. Yeah, just on the back of obviously what Linda said, she did, because obviously she's in my ward, obviously she's in my ward, she is in my ward, and she did ask me that question. And I put my hand on my heart and quite honestly said, I was not aware of anything.
Thank you.
And I did
Yes,
answer
she
you
did.
that.
Yes, she did.
She asked me about how it would go about, whether she could be able to say something, and I pointed her obviously that she'd have 3 minutes to say her bit about it. But I didn't know, as
you
probably
didn't
a
know.
lot of people didn't know. But that was an honest answer
And
from
that's
me.
what I know.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now the gentleman, sir.
I'll accept what you said, Mr. Chairman, about never discussed it, but may I please say that if any of you councillors ever vote to get rid of the girls who do this town, you all want to resign en masse.
I will answer that with a promise. I will resign rather than get rid of them.
I can't hear what you're saying, I'm deaf. One thing I won't stand is a load of nonsense.
Right. I will resign rather than get rid of the staff.
Thank you very much. You're a gentleman.
Thank you. Yes. I can see your arm.
About the corridor, don't forget me.
Yeah, no, I won't.
Excuse me, how many timekeepers do we have?
Sorry, I'm here. I'll come to you in a moment, Julie.
You know who I am, Annette. I'm here every meeting. I'd like to ask you a question regarding your election leaflet, if I may, particularly to the inside.
Yes.
On your election leaflet, you are saying there will be a website for the HGVs to have access to Brandon by prior arrangement. First of all, will the website be created in-house or will it be sent to an agency? Has there been a costing done? And where will the money come from? As I believe when I was here, there was no provision for this when Brandon Town Council set their budgets. How will you be able to check if HGVs coming through Brandon have been allowed access? Will there be checkpoints on major roads coming into Brandon? How will that work? HGVs will always use the quickest route because of fuel costs. And so do you propose fines for these companies if they ignore it? Will the plans for the HGV ban include a big housing development? Because the infrastructure is worse now than it's ever been. And do you have plans for a bypass? We'd like to know. You have been elected by the people in this town, and including Victor and Peter, you had that on your election leaflets as well about HGV ban. This now has to be sorted. It cannot be left to the next election like it was the previous. We are now holding you all to account. You have been elected on these proposals. It is now time for action, and we would like to appreciate an update every month on your progress. Thank you.
Thank you. You have asked an awful lot. May I reply in writing?
You may.
Thank you.
A copy?
Thank you.
Would you like a copy?
I do have a copy.
Sorry?
I do have a copy.
Copy of the question.
Oh, a copy of the questions. Yes, please. Yes, please. Thank you. Judy Redding.
I would like to know whether I'm the only person in Brandon who finds the LGBT flags flying offensive. And I would like to know who decided to hang one on our town council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I can say that I have received multiple complaints about the flags, as have at least one other councillor. As to who decided to fly them, I think, Graham, you can give the information there.
Well, we were given a flag and we had some anyway, and the decision was taken by councillors by majority vote.
When?
Jackie, when was it? When did you phone round?
Thursday or Friday, I think.
We called all the councillors and we went with the majority.
Chairman, I received multiple complaints as well about the flags, and I must say that we were not consulted in a proper fashion about flying of the flags. I think it should have gone to council, and we should have been consulted. We weren't consulted. I mean, I got a phone call, and my comments were, well, we really need to be consulted on flying of the flags. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I heard that people were consulted, and you and Councillor Whittam and someone else were the only three that opposed it.
We should be.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, I don't mind being named as one of those that opposed it. I am not homophobic in any way. It is just that I remember the last time they were flown, I had multiple complaints from members of the public. Please do know that I'm loud because of the people in the hallway, not angry.
And yes, what about the people that have said, certainly to me, how they like to see them?
Well, have you? You're quite welcome to bring that up. Yes, I'm sure there are many people that like them as well.
I've had some quite comical comments about them.
Yes, I'm sure you have. It's a two-edged thing. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't.
And we did, so we stick to it.
Yeah.
Would anybody else like to comment?
Yeah, I had a confidential conversation with the lady in the corner there, the media lady, right? My opinion, and she's passed that on Penny Etherington, and Penny Etherington has just publicly said what my views were. That is totally out of order, Jackie.
I haven't told anybody anything you said.
So how did Penny Etherington know then?
Not from...
I haven't told anybody what was said on my
How did Penny Etherington?
You're denying it, are you?
I'm not denying anything. I'm
Probably
just
just
saying
a
what it was.
coincidence, Victor, that she's used terminology that you use. I've told nobody. If I've told something you
I don't think there's a lot of confidentiality in the office. Thank you, Chairman. I've finished then.
Thank you. Councillor Palmer.
Right. Thank you, Chair.
Do remember to speak up for the people in the hallway.
I'll keep within my 2 minutes, or 3 minutes. Now that my last project for the people of Brandon has been completed, I'm now embarking on a further 3. I will tell the council about one of them tonight, the second next month, and the third the following month. All have to some extent been commenced. I will not require any direct assistance from any member of this council in embarking on these. However, I would appreciate encouragement and support from members of the public of Brandon. We all know that NHS dentists are fast disappearing. You are indeed very fortunate if you still have one in this area. Registering for a new NHS dentist in this area is virtually impossible. Why are they disappearing? I don't think the shortage of dentists are the reason, and you will find little difficulty in registering for private treatment. The cost of a treatment can be horrendous, and I feel that a large number of people that need regular treatment will go without. So it's down as to pay as you go or take out insurance cover. My aim is to turn this around. A big challenge, as the problem is nationwide. However, I am up for it. It's not going to happen overnight. In fact, I quite expect it will take 18 months for any real progress to be made. My job in doing this is a little hampered by me no longer being a member of West Suffolk Council, but the people that I will be contacting and working with will be far higher than the local authority. No longer being a member of West Suffolk Council, I find myself on approximately 2.5 days a week to spare. So taking on these projects, along with spending more time with my children and grandchildren, will take up this time. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, and I'm sure everyone around this table, if needs be, will give you as much support as we possibly can. This is a very important issue. Gentlemen in the hall.
There's a couple of us out here.
Mr. Pinnell.
There's a couple of us. How do you know all that? Anyway, listen, I wrote it down, you know, because I'm not as good as you guys. Just one thing, just about the flag. I think we should celebrate our diversity. Just by hanging a flag out of town doesn't mean we've all suddenly turned LGBTQ plus. FGHI, whatever it might be. I think it's a wonderful thing that we should do, and we should be hanging all kinds of flags whenever there's any kind of change or something.
Thank you.
Secondly, I can get you out of trouble. If you raise a motion that says we will not privatise any of the council services locally for the next 100 years, might get you out of trouble. Someone will second it, you'll vote it, it'll be through, everybody will be happy. That's not what I came about. In Victor's political ramblings in the Life, he congratulates himself and his friends for being elected. He goes on to note that they appear to have joined an alliance, the West Suffolk Working Partnership, which implies that they're not that independent after all. He even mentions the Labour, Lib Dem and the Greens in the same sentence as members, and we have a controlling administration. My question is, did they not think they should have declared that they weren't fully independent candidates prior to the election? Surely it would have been of interest to the voters. It may have perhaps swayed some ideas that they were going to join with some of the national parties. And finally, when did they decide to form this alliance? And as they're all members of this council, will they therefore be identifying as the West, what is it called?
West Suffolk Working
That's them.
Party.
Yes. Will that be directing local events as well, forming with the Lib Dems, Labour, National, etc.?
Thank you very much for your questions. Very good questions. I think I will pass over to Councillor Lucanik, who may well be able to give you quite a comprehensive answer.
A good question, Mr.
P-I-N-N-E-L-L.
We've got 19 seats at West Suffolk Council, and we are still an independent group. If we think that their policies are detrimental, especially to Brandon, we can opt out and still remain independent. How long this will last will depend on how we perform and how we deliver. Basically, if we can deliver things, I don't think people are going to mind too much whether we're formed an alliance with Tom, Dick or Harry. It's an opportunity for us and people in Brandon, councillors in Brandon, to have representation at the Cabinet of West Suffolk Council. We've never had any representation in there since the King was on the throne, and not this last King, but the King before that. You've got several more questions there.
I would prefer.
Keep going. I like the answers. Yeah, I would. Well, just remind me what another look. I would prefer to respond by email, but I can assure you, Mr. Pinnell, double L.
Yeah.
Pinnell, that I will be battling for this little town. I was born and bred in this little town, and I can assure you that that alliance is better for Brandon. It will work.
It just worries me, Victor, as you seem to be taken over. It just worries me that you've suddenly said, I'm in with the Labour, I'm in with the Lib Dem, and I'm in with the Greens. And you say you can opt out. So why are you in there in the first place? Why don't you just stay independent?
Because I think I can get things done, Mr. Pinnell. I think you've got to give it a chance. Give it a chance.
Give it a chance.
Because at this moment in time, we've got a cabinet member, portfolio holder, who's going to deal with the lighting parity. The lighting parity, we haven't got. That takes £40,000 out of this small town council. I think Graham will confirm that.
Yeah.
We've got a man specifically working on the lighting parity. What's your first name?
Malcolm.
Malcolm.
Call me Mal.
Malcolm. Give it a chance. Come back in a few months' time.
Well, I came back and I heard about the lighting parity a couple of, about a year or so ago, to be honest, and it's still going on. But anyway, listen, no, I appreciate your answers. Thank you very much. I thought it was your answers.
I would like to, yes, Councillor Everington.
Could I just point out one thing, that is the party side of things, party politics, is West Suffolk District. Town and parish councils are not supposed to be party political. We're supposed to all work together as a team.
Absolutely.
I would like to say something, Phil, please.
Sorry?
I want to say something when ready.
Yep. I couldn't agree more with you, Councillor Etherington. Around this table there are no party politics. At West Suffolk District Council it is a different animal. It was in the command of the Conservative Party, were the ruling majority there, and have been, as Councillor Lucanik said, since the King was on the throne. All that time, Brandon has been totally starved of any investment, any look. Yeah, they trot out, oh, well, we spent money on your sports centre. That was only to put office space in it, so that it subsidised the running costs and maintained it for Abercroft Leisure.
It's not the past we worry about.
But the present, and working the way we are working in a partnership. We're not in a coalition, we're a partnership, but in that partnership, as Councillor Lucanik says, we have cabinet positions, we have portfolio holders. The West Suffolk District Council, for those that don't know, works slightly different to here. There you have a cabinet, committees feed the cabinet put recommendations to the, name's gone.
Yeah. I think the
council.
Yeah.
Understand what you mean.
But
the association, as long as it's not coming to local.
It's not coming into local.
Everything has assured us that's the case.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. I haven't come for this, by the way. I've come about Rotary. You just mentioned the leisure centre, and it wasn't built for office space. My father-in-law, Bill Bishop, worked very hard for Brandon.
He did.
And what you just said is really offensive.
Really.
Because he did not work hard for Brandon to put a bloody office space. He worked hard for the people of Brandon for 40 odd years. So I really would like you to take that back.
Well, I won't take it back, sir, because it's no reflection on Bill and the people that work to get that.
He worked hard to build it. He didn't build it for office space. He built it for people, leisure centre.
Yes.
You're wrong, my man.
No, we got a leisure centre.
Yes.
It was struggling financially.
Yes, but you said when it was first built.
No, I never said when it was. I never said when it was first built.
You just said it was built for office space.
No, I didn't. You've totally misunderstood me. Can I? No, wait. And I'm not angry, I'm shouting so that people can hear.
Yeah, I'm angry.
Right. I did not say it was built as office space from the word go. I am saying that its last refurbishment by the West Suffolk District Council was to put office space in it, so that those office rents then subsidised Abercroft Leisure, who run the place.
Absolutely now.
But that is now.
But when it
was first built, I agree totally with you.
Well, you need to say that at the start, not say it was.
Well, no, you just misunderstood me. I said it was refurbished and office space was put in. If it hadn't have done, it would have gone bust because the West Suffolk Council weren't prepared to put any money in to subsidise it, any more than they do.
But you took all the bit away from it, that's why. You had an actual hall where you could hold dancers.
I know.
When P&H was going, we used to have every Christmas do in there. We played football in the sports centre every Friday in the Veterans League and the leagues. We spent a fortune in the bar. You haven't got a bar in there, they took it all away.
I totally agree.
To be fair, you might as well turn it into a doctor's because that's got no purpose bar a gym. You can't do anything in there. You can't hold a function in there. You haven't even got beer on tap.
Absolutely. Councillor Brocklehurst and then Mark Skinner.
Can I, what I was going to reply,
No, sorry. Right, can I go to Jackie, please, first?
I would just like it put on record that I have never betrayed anything I may have been told confidentially, and I would never do that. I'm absolutely dismayed that Councillor Lucanik thinks it's appropriate to accuse me of that, and I do not appreciate being spoken to in that manner. Thank you.
That will go on record. What I will say is that somehow Councillor Etherington found out. Anyway, Councillor Brocklehurst.
What I was going to say, in response to the leisure centre one, I do think you may have misheard what the chairman was saying. What he was commenting on there was we had a leisure centre, Bill did a fantastic job in getting it for us. We all know at one stage we had a 4-lane bowling green in there, and when we weren't bowling indoors, it was covered and we could get a function for 200 people. The issue that was being highlighted was that as the leisure centre's been used less, West Suffolk District Council have always been starving the town of money, and what they've done is said, well, we gave you £1 million to upgrade your leisure centre. But they didn't.
It in the wrong way. You took all the, you can't do anything in there, only work out.
No, sorry, we didn't do it. This was done at district level. This was done at district level.
You're all voted here. You know, we vote you all guys in, and this isn't what I come about. We're come on the scrounge, to be fair. It's really upsetting when we had something really workable. You had the football, you had the bowling, you had dues, we had somewhere to go. You knocked down the only other bloody place where I got married and had my reception in.
Yeah.
You know,
with due respect, Brandon Town Council haven't knocked down any of these things.
But
it has.
You let them. You've got a voice.
Do you reckon the public might get to speak tonight?
You will be got to in a minute. Please be patient. Another gentleman is talking and he is being answered. Thank you.
I don't think he's being answered correctly, actually.
Well, that is your opinion. You can speak in a minute.
And a lot of other people's.
You know, I just think this is my first time here, so excuse me if I'm being a bit rude. But I just look at you guys. You've all been voted. You know, I didn't vote for Rick, I voted for the other chap. But you've all got a voice. Go and tell them we want something where we can hold a function. Don't knock the bloody thing down because we now have got nothing. If you want to have a wedding, I just paid £32,000 for my son's wedding at Chippenham Hall because there's nowhere around here.
No, I agree.
You know, or Hockfold, what's going to cost you another £25,000?
Anyway, I will finally answer that little bit, I'm sure. It wasn't us. We opposed it. Those of us at the West Suffolk opposed it.
But they still went ahead and done it.
Absolutely, because the West Suffolk...
I don't know your name.
No, may I answer you and then that's it.
Let me just say one thing. When we wanted to bypass, I was the one putting all the signs up. When I was a young lad with Billy, putting all the signs up, Brandon needs a bypass, we need to take Brandon School, Brandon, you know, people joined it after the event. You know, when we're protesting, you know, if you said to us, we need a protest to stop this bloody happening, we would have all been out there protesting. We wanted a middle school, a high school. We protested. We stopped them knocking it down to build houses.
Lovely, thank you. I'm going to stop you there, sir. The West Suffolk Council, the Conservative ruling majority, did it. If we are outvoted at that table, it doesn't matter, we still protested. No, please, your time is up. There's conversations going on in the background. Can they please stop and pay respect to the meeting? And I will move to Mark Skinner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can I just say, Mr. Chairman, I like the way you said to that gentleman his time was up, and I do really think yours should be too, after some of the rubbish I've heard today. I'll be honest with you, you might nod your head, but I only came here for one reason tonight, to mention one thing, and I'm going to elaborate now. And I just want to say, with respect, we have had Brandon Town councillors and district councillors who have been on the level position of what is now the cabinet. We have had my late boss Harvey Adam for many years. We had Bill, who worked their socks off for this town, and to say that no one ever represented Brandon for the last 100 years on those positions is out of order. And I think an apology should be given, because I think that is disrespectful to Mr. Bishop, and it would be disrespectful to my late employer and several other people on that council board who gave their all in their time of office. I'm sure you won't know. And then secondly, I'd just like to say this. When you mentioned about that leisure centre, I have got a copy where Vic wrote a column in one of the magazines promoting the leisure centre. He was all for it being changed into a medical centre. Now, I'm not saying he is right or wrong, but what I am saying is be honest. Because what we had was a leisure centre, and did anyone in Brandon know that the reason we were not actually keeping it as such was because of funding? It was made out to us that we were going to get an enhanced leisure centre, and councillors who were on the district at the time were in this room and told us this here. We were going to get an enhanced leisure centre, but there would be some office space to generate income. They didn't actually say what, because we were told by West Suffolk that they were spending £1 million of taxpayer money to benefit Brandon. And what they did, they spent £1 million of taxpayer money to benefit themselves. And what I'm going to say is another point about the community centre, the bingo hall, and if this is denied, there will be trouble, because I'm sure there must be a recording somewhere. I came to this council. Victor will be able to tell you that I stopped him and the council leader at the time, James Waters, about the bingo hall. For £185,000, Brandon could have bought that and preserved a car park, opened it up to the orchard. We would have had a fantastic community area. I came here when the community centre was up for sale and said, why don't we go for that? And everybody looks at you as though, you know, it can't be done. We could have probably got that. If we went to them and said, look, this is Brandon Town Council, that is our community centre, which I will point out, a bit like Kevin's in-laws and my parents actually contributed to that building because they came round to us all, and I can remember as a kid going to the opening and we were asked to contribute. Now if we had gone to them and said, look, let Brandon take it over, I reckon we'd have probably got it for about 100 grand, maybe not much more, but the thing is, it's all very well saying these other authorities do it, but what you don't do is you don't make us aware of the problems. You go to the meetings, and what you've done is you've sat there, you've listened, and you've... I mean, I'd be interested to know how you voted, actually, on that leisure thing. Did you vote against it?
I never voted on it at all.
Right, exactly.
I never had the opportunity to vote for it.
But you didn't say anything about it at the time, and this is the problem. You don't tell the people of Brandon what are the important issues, because if we knew, we are powerful people combined, we could put up a fight, and we could do some of these things, but we don't know. And it's a bit like, I'm going to just go on to one thing with Councillor Ridgewell. And also,
can you make it the last thing, please, Mark? Because I'm very conscious of time.
No, we've listened a lot tonight, and we haven't been able to answer the questions. The thing is, what I would say is, when you come to these meetings, it's been said many times before, and I've said it a lot of times, I don't think it's appropriate at the last meeting the way the clerk was spoken to. I think it was bang out of order. If anyone goes back and watches the recording, I would class some of the comments as bullying. Saying to a council officer, go down to your office and bring me the information. You get those agenda packs well in advance of the meeting. I'm beginning to think you don't read them until you get here, because it's like with the accounting and certain things. Why don't you ask these questions prior to the meeting, and then you would get a proper answer? That is the normal policy. If you were at West Suffolk and you did what you're doing here, you wouldn't be there long. And then my only other point I'm going to say, and it may not go down well, is the most indiscreet bunch of people in this town are councillors. And it's not just one, it's many. And that comment about the staffing issue, I know who made it and to who. Now, I will not divulge that person's integrity because they told me in confidence, but they were told by a councillor in this room that after the election, they were going to reduce the town team and do certain things. Now, what I would say is, that's fine. Put it on your agenda. I mean, can we ask, has this been discussed in the confidential part of the meeting? Would you be brave enough to say yes or no?
I can categorically say...
So it's never been discussed...
in the confidential.
Then it relates to a certain councillor. Well, all I'm going to say is, to that councillor, he knows who it is, I'm sure. I'm just going to say this. A lot of people keep going on about, as soon as any trouble comes up, about people's mental well-being. You ought to think of your team, because I can tell you now, some of them have been really stressed about this.
This is why I'm so angry about
that behaviour is not acceptable. It's very easy to stand in a room like this and deny it because it hasn't been written down. But let me tell you, these comments have been made.
Right, thank you, Mark.
Just as a future point, I wouldn't say too much. The only other issue I would just like to bring up one little more, and it is an important one. When you mentioned about the pizza place, has it been passed? Or is it still in...
It's still pending at West Suffolk.
I think councillors, to a degree, should stand up a little bit more for what they believe in, because we asked for the wooden windows in that application, but if we go down the high street and look at some of the stuff that is put in illegally and without permission, nothing is ever said. Now, Now, I'm not saying that you want to upset people in this town, because I don't, but what I'm saying is I think sometimes people have to stand up and say, are we prepared to allow any old thing to go? Because you've only got to take a walk down there.
Thank you, Mark.
No,
You've made your point.
I haven't finished.
Well, you have finished. Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Councillor Ridgewell.
Just quickly, like what Mark's just said about the bank, I did actually say it was left to 5 councillors or 5 people on the planning to say about the bank, but I did say that it should have been brought to full council, and I still say that it should have been brought to full council, the application to change Barclays Bank into a takeaway.
Thank you very much for that comment, Mr. Wayne.
Hi, Wayne Bland. I just want to ask the council, at the front or back, as already said, what is going on with the lorries on the High Street and London Road? We've had a lorry shed its load, we've had someone take our internet out for 13, 14 days, and now we've had a trailer dumped over the bridge. Now, I live on that bridge, and I see all those lorries come over there, and that's no surprise that that's happened. I don't know what the reason was, but I just want to know from the council, has anything to be done about it? A suggestion may be 20 mile an hour zone, slow them down, speed trapper, they come over there like a rocket.
Thank you for that. Thank you. I will move to our county council, Councillor Lucanny, on for the answer on that one.
Okay, well, I will just give you a county report. I have reported the banisters which have all been vandalised and broken at the bridge there. And I'll give you a reference number on that, Graham. That's 407222. So that has been reported, and those banisters do want repair, and they're really grim, you know. I'll just give you the latest traffic count, considering there's been a lot of debate about HGVs. The latest traffic count over a 5-day period, that was a Monday to Friday, that was in February actually. I'm glad everybody's sitting down. There's 46,000 vehicles entering Brandon over a 5-day period. Over the same 5-day period, there's 1,900 HGVs over 7.5 tonne. That's 380 on a daily basis. And there's 1,500 lorries over that 5-day period, over 18 tonnes. That's 300 daily. I'm still waiting from the county the proportions of which is through traffic and which is local traffic. They're still working on that.
That's shocking. Yeah, it is. Absolutely shocking.
So it's little wonder that I'm on the phone virtually every week, sometimes every day of the week, trying to get the potholes fixed. But I will say one thing. When the deputy leader of Suffolk County Council came through the town the other day and I took him round, he said your roads are better than Bury. And I'll be honest with you, there's only one loose pothole down that high street now, and that's because I am persistently on the telephone and flagging them up as emergencies. And where we are with the HGV ban, Suffolk County Council are reluctant to put in place an ANPR system. Basically what that does, that monitors the registration numbers, and then it goes into a central hub, and then people who have violated the weight limit, they get a brown envelope with a... That is an enormous amount of money to put in place. Brandon deserves that. I'll just keep battling on. And the issues that the gentleman mentioned there, they're criminal acts, and I did see the police. They were interrogating that driver of the trailer which had broken away from the tractor unit. So I would say he's in trouble. That they are criminal acts. The lorries at this moment in time have the legal right to enter Brandon until the regulations, till you get a traffic regulation order. I'm battling away, and that's all I can say. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That concludes my county report.
Thank you. Councillor Etherington.
On much the same line, can I ask the County Councillor a question? I know that the government is doing a consultation into major road upgrades over the next 5 years, and the road investment strategy, and also that Transport East are doing a road rural mobility survey. Have you done anything, replied to those? Because I would thought they were two ways of imparting some important information to Brandon.
Thank you, Councillor Errington. I can say that I have replied to both, but I think Councillor Lucanik will give you a much better update.
We would like to hear about those sort of things.
Thank you.
Well, we had a questionnaire, and I think several of us done, and they asked for your preferences, your bullet points, and my bullet point was to upgrade the 1065 from Barton Mills to Munford, upgrade that, but also bypass Brandon. And if there's one thing what this town will benefit from is a bypass. Make no mistake about it. If you go to Long Melford, look at the improvements there. That's transformed that town. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Can I just say something?
Yes.
Sorry. Can I just ask about the 20 mile an hour thing? Can't you consider putting that in place, like a calming measure?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, the lorries have got to deliver to the shops and things. I'm not, but the amount we're getting through Brandon is ridiculous. It's like a rat run, and the speed.
Thank you, Emma. I will answer that in part. Yes, it is a rat run. When the A11 was dualled, that was the preferred route, that they would go from, coming up from the south, they would come up to Munford and then through Munford, Thetford, Munford and up towards Kings Lynn, North Norfolk and Lincolnshire, and also use the A10, which is way over that in the west. Now, if you ever go and drive around the county and go to the A10, it's virtually empty. And I can tell you exactly why, because they all come through Brandon. But hey presto, when we had the High Street resurfaced or the level crossing shut, they suddenly find another way round, which doesn't appear to inconvenience them at all. So, yes, ARP cameras would be the first stage, and they would monitor the traffic going through and stop the HGV through traffic. Anybody delivering in the town centre would still be able to come in. No problem at all. They just ring up the control centre, so lorry such and such will be delivering to the carpet shop this week. They are allowed in, no fine. Everything, that end of the town can be serviced from Five Ways. Everything, that end of the town can be serviced from Munford. 99% of the traffic we get through, apart from our very own Rory Holbrook, is through traffic. They're coming from Lincolnshire, Yorkshire, right the way down, and instead of peeling off down the A10, Cambridge, M11, they're coming through Brandon. They don't stop, they don't buy anything, all they do is destroy our town. Very briefly, ma'am.
Yeah, this sort of, it actually relates to what you're saying now. Are you all aware of the pig farm that's got going through for thing? I actually work for Tom Rives, who's the local councillor for that. He's making a real big thing about it. And he said, do the people of Brandon actually realise how many of those lorries will be coming through Brandon?
Yes, we do.
And I have tried to sort of help and put it out on Facebook to people weeding, etc. But I think really it's something that Brandon Town Council should really jump upon as well, because from what he showed me, the amount of lorries amounts to thousands and thousands a year.
Yeah.
And as well as that, it's going to be a chicken farm, and it's going to be the biggest in Europe.
Thank you.
So
We will definitely, we are certainly now all aware of it, thank you very much, but some of us were
in touch
anyway.
with Tom if you need to liaise with him about
Yeah,
it.
well I've got your Facebook page I can come to. Anybody else from the public like to speak? Right, on that note, thank you very much, I am resuming the meeting. We move on to agenda item number 9, which is correspondence. Could the people in the hallway please stop talking? Thank you very much. Agenda item number 9, correspondence, Graham.
Yeah, I've just had one piece of correspondence from a gentleman that has thanked us for getting some fly tips rubbish removed and the area tidied by West Suffolk. So that was done from the office.
Thank you very much from that. I will move on to agenda item number 10, which is the accounts to approve payments for May 2023. Everybody around this table has seen the accounts. Could I have a proposer? Thank you. Could I have a seconder? Thank you. That's Penny Everington and Gary Brocklehurst.
Thank you.
Could I have a show of hands, please? That's unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item number 11 on the agenda is to receive income and expenditure statement against budget for April 2023. We have all seen it around the table. I think it's a public document which will be in the public gallery in their packs. This is not something we vote on, it is just that we receive it, and I will state that it has been received. Agenda item number 12, we move to a grant application to consider S137 grant from Brandon and District Rotary Club from Brandon Town Council. Could I have a proposer? Thank you, Councillor Everington. Councillor Siebert has seconded. We can now throw it open to discussion. If there are people from the Rotary Club, perhaps they would like to speak first.
Yeah, I'll speak. Yeah.
I'm already upset. No, you haven't upset me, sir.
Well, I'm Sean Mannon from Brandon District Rotary Club.
Very pleased to meet you.
Kev, President, Rob, Treasurer. We've applied for a grant for upgrading our electrical equipment, etc. As you know, we run the bonfire in the town every year. We've done so for the last 30 odd years, 35, probably nearer 40 years. Most of our gear is now over 25 years old, and we need to keep up with the times. We also need to upgrade to make things safer for everyone. We have to increase the amount of lighting we put out to keep the public safe, because no longer can we just put one light here, one light there. It doesn't work. We also use the equipment on other fundraising things we do for the town. The Santa sleigh that we do around the town, we use the equipment for that as well. So it's something that we be looking to do. We raise money for charity. We are a registered charity, which also then means we cannot use that money for replacing our own stuff. So we've raised a certain amount, but we need 3,500, which is why we applied for a grant for 2,000.
Lovely, thank you very much. Can you come through the chair, please, Peter? Lovely, thank you very much, sir. I'll throw it open to the table now, please. Councillor Lucan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You're the people who donated the sundial to Brandon and Bloom, aren't you?
That's right. Yeah,
we're appreciative of that, and that's a nice little gesture on your behalf. Thank you very much. How much do you raise when you have the bonfire in November?
It varies between £3,000 and £4,000, which all gets donated to local and international charities.
So you don't hold anything back to refinance the bonfire the following November?
We have a fireworks reserve.
Yeah.
Should the occasion arise that we get a washout, 90% of our sales is on the night. So if we have a wet Saturday, we're setting up.
Well, if you remember a few years back, they shut Bury because of the high winds. We managed to carry on You know, so we have to keep a certain amount behind.
Yeah.
I'd like to say that you do a great job, and a lot of people enjoy that bonfire. And they look forward to it as well.
Yeah.
Graham, could you tell me what sort of money we've got in the 137?
Well, the budget this year is 10,000.
And I think we've spent some of that, haven't we?
We haven't done the accounts for so far, so...
I think somebody came along last month and...
Yeah, I can't remember that information
So
in front of me.
we've got anywhere between 7,000 and 10,000 grand, have we, something like that?
Must be something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Would anybody else around the table like to comment? Councillor Brocklehurst?
Yeah. One of the thoughts I've got, I know the council actually hold a store of equipment. Could a conversation take place with anything that you guys need, whether it's compatible with what we've already got as well?
The only thing with that, if you're actually using it, and we need to use, we're doing a lot of events this year.
Yeah.
I'm now president of the Rotary, real strong team this year, and we're going to put on more and more events. Things like circus.
Yeah. More power to the elbow, and I agree wholeheartedly.
Like the Santa Run, we did that, we started that in COVID. We actually borrowed Lake and Heath sleigh, but Lake Heath then said to us, once we advertised it, you can't use our sleigh anymore, so we had to invest our own money, not the charity funds, to build a sleigh. And you think that one reindeer is £1,000. You know, just spent an absolute fortune of our own money, not the Rotary Club.
All it's Kevin, is just sometimes you look at the situation, you think, some groups, you've got duplications of equipment, that's all.
More closely with you, but we would like our own equipment. Because
absolutely.
If anything happens and you use it, then we'll split stuff.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Councillor Mechanic?
Sorry, what's your first name?
Kevin.
Kevin, what have you had money from Brandon Town Council before? Have you applied for any funds before?
No.
You can't remember us ever giving...
I mean, inheritance from Billy passed away. That would be it. No, we haven't had it.
My opinion is this, Mr Chairman, is that if everybody comes along and asks us for £2,000 by about the middle of this year, or within a couple of months, we probably won't have any 137 money, that's the thing. And I know there was talk last financial year that perhaps we should be slightly less generous to people who come along. I can remember a few years ago we used to give £300 or £400. Now we're giving out £1,000, £2,000 and more on a regular basis. I'll make a suggestion, and that's only a suggestion, that we give them £1,000, and like that we've got money left over for other people. But that's only a suggestion on my behalf.
Thank you for that, Councillor Mechanic. Sorry, Kevin.
Thanks ever so much for that. That would be great. But as a group, I don't think there's many more groups that do more for Brandon. You know, the fireworks is a huge thing we put on every year. And any profit, down to the penny, we send to local food banks, charities. So the guys you're saying would come to you, we are supporting them as well. The Santa Run, we don't make a penny on that. It cost us this year nearly £3,000 to put it on. We actually have buckets, and we got a Pleasurewood Hills token, we got dimes, crude grand, you know, everything. We probably raised about £260, and that went straight out the door to charity. So
thank you for that.
As much as you can give us would be great.
I'll go Councillor Everington and then Councillor Palmer.
I'd like to see them have the full amount. They don't only do the fireworks, but they run at the school, IES.
Schools too.
Yes, exactly.
And we're going to work more, we're going to do...
Through the chair.
Sorry, Chair. We're going to do Repwell School, and we're going to try to do, with the primary schools, we're going to do draw a picture for Father Christmas or whatever.
But, yeah, I think they do Awful lot for Brandon, and I would like to see them, as they say, it's also they've been before and they don't keep coming back for money. To get them fully equipped, that will see them often, won't it?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Councillor Ellington. I mean, the proposal and seconded on the table is for the full 2,000. We need to go to Councillor Palmer.
Well, I didn't hear it being proposed, but I'm proposing the full 2,000.
No, it's already been proposed by Councillor Ellington and seconded by Councillor Seaver. Councillor Buchanan.
Could I just ask, Kevin, is it?
Kevin.
The balance from 2,000 to 3,000, where are you? You've got that in reserves, have you?
Sorry?
To make the balance up, because the scheme is costing 3,500.
We've got another. We've got functions obviously going. We have our own money. We pay into the club every month.
We have a monthly subscription.
Yeah, and that's what's built up.
Okay.
We have functions, but any function we do, it's purely the money all goes to charity. We cover our costs of the function, and Nikki will say we cover the cost of the function, and everything we make profit goes to charity.
As the £2,000 has been proposed, Kevin, then I will vote for the £2,000.
Thank you very much. I will just allow Councillor Brockhurst to say a very quick point, and then I will summarise and we'll go for the vote.
Yeah, I was going to actually say I would like to give the full amount, the £2,000. I think what Rotary Club do is absolutely fantastic. Can we also, our events team, make sure that we speak with each other and get you here for Christmas?
Chair, the Santa Run this year, we usually launch on Tesco. We did one night this year or last year on the Market Hill. We're looking to do both nights on the Market Hill if possible this year, purely because we got the Grinch, we got Elsa, we got elves running around, and the kids get excited in a car park. It's probably not the safest thing. So we'd like to get through the barrier. Yeah.
Thank you, Kev. I will now summarise before we move to a vote. I can absolutely see where Councillor Lukanik is coming from when he mentioned the limited pot that this town council has this year, and not least of which over street lights, but I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, if you like, on that one, because we're in the administration at the West Suffolk District. So, I know that the Rotary Club for donkey's years has done marvellous work, and certainly you guys in Brandon and surrounding area do so. So I'm quite happy to put it to the vote for the full £2,000 around this table. Those in favour? Unanimous.
Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome. Now I've lost my agenda.
Number 13, and I'll ask you a question first.
Right, we move to number 13, to note minutes of the Planning Committee meeting of the 5th of June. Now, I know Bob wants to ask a question, but I'm going to hand over to Councillor Brockhurst, who is current chair of the Planning Committee, who will give a verbal report.
Okay. Excuse me, Phil, my question is to you, not to the planning committee.
Is it to do with? Yeah, okay.
The question was, A, why did you put your name down for planning? As an ex-officio officer, you can go and vote on any committee. And the second thing is, I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, this is from my education, I understand you're now on West Suffolk Planning.
I am Development and Control of the West Suffolk District Council.
I also understand that if you take any part in the Brandon planning meeting, you cannot take any part at West Suffolk.
On that score, Bob, you are incorrect, and I have checked with the legal officer at Development and Control.
That's why I asked for that information.
I have checked with the monitoring officer, I have checked with the election officer, and Uncle Tom Cogley and all. There is absolutely no reason why I cannot be on both. And in fact, I am Deputy Chair of the Delegation Committee at West Suffolk. And I also sit on the, officially on the Brandon Town Council planning, because if I weren't there, we would only have 4 members. We've only got 5 at the moment, which is about right. So and on the other point, yes, I can go on to any of our committees and as officer vote if I so desire. Thank you. But I will now pass over to Councillor Brocklehurst.
Okay, we had our first meeting of the planning committee. There was five committee members put forward for it. I was voted in as the chairman. So attending that meeting, there was a committee of 5, the town clerk and 1 member of public. We had 3 tree preservation border requests. All were approved based on the tree officer guidelines. We looked at them and then took the expert advice, and they were passed unanimously. There was a consultation for an extension at St Benedict's, which was approved, and there was a further application for an extension in Rowan Drive that was approved. The interesting part of the meeting, and I think Mr Skinner mentioned something earlier about things not being discussed in the town and things not going anywhere. It was brought to the table that a large extension has been added to the rear of number 17, the High Street. For those of you that are unaware of that, that is the old Tilly's Tea Room, the yellow painted one, next door to El Greco. So they have already applied for approval for a building extension to the rear of the property for added ventilation. That was passed. It falls within the conservation area. It was passed and they had planning permission for it, but they've now constructed well, it looks like to be an outdoor restaurant more than anything. It covers the full length of the back garden, sides, roof, the lot. So Graham the clerk has been in touch with West Suffolk Planning. I believe our chairman has as well through his role on there. I haven't responded with an email as they were both covered through those 2. Further discussion took place about holding the planning meetings in the middle of the day for one reason, mainly so that we could live stream them. We can be quite flexible, and if an application from a member of the public required us to meet in the evening because they really couldn't get there, then we've said we'd be flexible enough to move. But the intention is to live stream and utilise the staff prior to Jackie leaving, so there'll be no extra cost there. That'll come in their times. And we also had a short debate on general debate followed up about the conservation area of the High Street, the colours, the style and street furniture, and obviously that was covered things like Barclays Bank, and I think you'll notice Mr Jesus painted, done in a rather nice grey colour, and I know people might not like the light, that sort of colouring, but the thought was that it is more sympathetic to the conservation area. So we're hoping that we can start going down that route and actually getting on top of some of these things and making the High Street look a little bit nicer where we can help.
Thank you for that, Councillor Brocklehurst. Are there any questions on that? Councillor Ridgewell.
You're not going to like it. What you've just said, that you can be on planning on both. Well, when I was on district, 2015, 2019, I was also on planning here, and they put me on planning at Forest Heath, and I couldn't be on both, and I had to be taken off one, this one, Brandon Town Council. Now if I've heard you just right, you can be on the Brandon Town Council one, and at Bury St Edmunds.
You've heard it correct. That is correct. That is absolutely correct.
At Bury St Edmunds is telling porkies, because at Forest Heath at Mildenhall, they told me I could not be on both.
Can I correct
So I
you.
come off one. There's no correction. It's no correction. The people up top at Forest Heath, at Mildenhall, told me I had to come off the Brandon Town Council planning.
Well, not correct. Can I make it clear to you? Forest Heath no longer exists. St Edmundsbury Borough Council no longer exists. They were merged and became the West Suffolk Council. The West Suffolk Council has approved me to be on both. That includes their legal solicitor who works on planning, the head of the planning department, the standards officer, the elections officer, everybody. So it is perfectly legal for me to sit on both. In the days of the West Suffolk, in the days of Forest Heath and St Edmundsbury, I don't know what legislation then was in place or what legislation was interpreted. So you cannot, honestly, Councillor Bridgewell, compare the two. But I am legally able to sit on both. And I will just briefly pass over to Councillor Buchanan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I won't mention any names because it's not wise to mention names. There's a particular councillor who sits on development control at West Suffolk Council, and she also sits on the planning department, planning committee at Newmarket Town Council. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And I will say she has done also for the last 4 years.
But don't mention any names because it's
no
not
names
wise.
mentioned. I will now move on to agenda item number 14, which is a resolution to exclude the public and the press. Let the joke go. Yes, and I agree because we're coming close to the end of it. Right, if always I have to read the resolution, which is, excuse me please, excuse me. Thank you very much. Pursuant to the Public Bodies Admissions to Meeting Act 1960, the public and press be excluded from the meeting temporarily due to the confidential nature of the business to be discussed concerning quotes, land, staff, contract. Do I have a proposer? Thank you, Councillor Buchanan. Seconded by Councillor Siebert. Can I have a vote round the table, please? Councillor Etherington, thank you. Unanimous. Thank you very much, everybody. It was great speaking and having your opinions.
Give Judy the call.
Thanks, Ralph. Keep in touch.